All right, YouTubers, here we go. We're going to try to fix this 2004 GMC Sierra door panel here. It looks like this has busted off. I've had this truck for a little while, and it's actually been kind of sitting like this, and it keeps bouncing around. So we're going to try to fix that. And actually, the door switch actuator and everything are busted there. So we're going to try to see if we can get that fixed. So first thing we need to do is take off this door panel. I did buy a new one. It's right here, so we'll see if we can maybe we can get that in there. And then some of the door panels, like some of these have this extra little clip. This one actually has a little screw on it. I kind of, when I went to check to see how to fix it, busted it off. So we're actually going to put that back the right way. But then you can actually see here, this little clip is busted. So we're going to try to maybe make something out of plastic or whatever, and see if we can get that fixed as well, so that the little clip that goes right here can clip back into it. So we're going to work on that. We're going to take this door off here. We'll go over the steps on that. But first, since this is already out, we're going to have to take this out anyway. Might as well just go ahead and try to get this undone. So it's out there. A couple little clips. It's hard to do with one hand, so bear with me here. Make sure we get those right. Clip there. Definitely this blue one, and then this one here, looks like it pushes down and then slides here. Alright, so that one's done. Alright, let's see if we can get the rest of these out of here. So squeeze that. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna have to take two hands with this, so bear with me here. I'm gonna get these pulled out and we'll go from there. Alright, so it wasn't squeezed from the side, it was squeezed from the top here. Makes it a little easier. There we go. So you push down on this piece there, and I'm assuming this one's going to be the same way. Push down right there, slides right out. There we go. So I got that out. So we'll have to figure out how to get this thing out of here. It looks like it just clips in with these these clips on either side, and we'll get those taken out there too. So let's start working on the door. Alright, so first things first, this little door actuator, or the little door lock thing, just take a little pry tool, should pop it out. My pry tool's been around a while, so it's not as strong as it should be. But it just pops right out there. Looks like this little slot, see that little slot there? Goes on the door actuator here, so make sure that. But there's a 7mm bolt there. There's a 7mm bolt right here. We'll make sure we get that. We do have to take this corner piece out, and if I remember correctly, it's better if you take it out from the top. There should be two. Yeah, take it out from the top, because there's this little piece right there. It kind of goes in there. If you try to take it out from the bottom, it doesn't seem to work. But two little clips. Make sure those clips are there. So we'll throw that off to the side. Get that going there. And then this one, super easy. Just stick your finger in there and it pulls out. And then slide it back a little bit. Lift up the handle. Slides right out like that. And then again, it's got a little clip, so make sure when you put this back in, it goes on that way. But this door should actually only have two, maybe three. I think sometimes there's one here on some of the doors. But I don't know if this door has been off. Obviously, it might have been at one time, but we'll just take those two 7mm bolts out, and then this thing should come right off. Alright, I'm gonna undo these bolts here real quick. Alright, so I got those two out of there. Like I said, sometimes there's a third one here, but I don't think there's one there. We got that one out and this one out, so it should just pop right off there. Looks like we're good, and then it should just push these cables through. And then the only thing we have down here is that courtesy light. We'll just get that disconnected, and then we'll put this on the ground and we'll start working on it. Okay, so I just basically took a piece of cardstock here, kind of traced out the piece that I want. I'm probably just going to take the piece that I make. I'll probably make it out of wood or something and place it on top. Maybe epoxy it down or something and come a little close. So we'll do that. I'll do a test fit when we get it to the piece. So like I said, I'm just going to take probably a little piece of plywood, something kind of thin. I can maybe make this out of, and then we'll see if we can epoxy it down. Or maybe epoxy it underneath it. I'm not sure how we're gonna get that on there, but we're gonna try to get that on there now. So I'm gonna work on that. All right, so after all that, I found a piece of plywood, cut out a little piece here. Looks like I'm probably just going to stick it right here on top. I'm going to have to figure it out just a little bit more. Make sure the fitment's just right. Kind of get it in there a little bit, but I think I'm just going to take it down a little bit more, get it going. I'm going to stick it right there. We're going to probably just glue it down or something. Doesn't need to be too sturdy. It just needs to be able to hold that door handle in. So I'm going to work on it a little bit more. Just let you know that's kind of what I came up with. It was a shape. And then we're going to, like I said, just keep sanding down. All right. Looks like we got it all glued in there. Just use some super glue. Like I said, it doesn't have to be too tight or whatever, so that hopefully that'll work. It's just really to keep it clamped down. So super glue, clean it up a little bit, and then we'll start putting this door back together. And then like I said, we're gonna get this door this piece taken care of, the replacement actuator or the replacement switches. We're gonna work on that now. All right, so we got the new one and the old one here. The old one's still inside. Like I said, there's these little clips here. We're just gonna pull those out. Should be some on the other side. Hopefully it'll pop right out here for me. Trying to do this one-handed again. There we go. All right, cool. Pops right out. They're the same. I think the model numbers are slightly different on this one. I think this one's a I don't know. I can't read it upside down. But anyway, so this one's slightly different, but it is actually the same one. I did double check it with, I think I ordered these from Rock Auto, so rockauto.com, shout out to you. So yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same. Just like I said, the model numbers are slightly different, but it should work just fine. They look identical here. So yeah, we're going to pop this new one in and then wait for that other piece to dry, and then we'll hopefully be ready to go here. All right, so the glue is set on this one. Some of the doors are a little different. Like I said before, some of the doors, like from depending upon which one you get, have this little bracket here. It just pops right off. This one actually has a screw. I'm not quite sure why this one's different, but that's probably why the end here is broken. But it still screws in pretty good. So on this one, we'll actually have to put this. We'll have to actually put this whole mechanism back in here, and then we'll screw it in from the back. And then when we put it back together, we will make sure we get all the wires plugged in before we put the door on. So I'm going to go ahead and snap this in here and then run that screw up underneath it, and then we'll put the door back on. Alright, so we're going to put the door back on pretty much the same way we took it off there. Make sure everything's back in its grooves like it's supposed to be. So make sure everything's where it's supposed to go. We're going to hook everything up, get all these wires hooked up, and then yeah, we'll slide this door back on. Alright, door's back on. Looks like everything's slid into place like it's supposed to. Get these two bolts back in. We should be able to finish up here. Okay, everything's back together. Looks like it's all back where it's supposed to be. Everything's snapped back in. Like I said, remember there's a little lip here on the piece. You just got to make sure when you put it back in, you slide that in first and then snap that down. Same thing with this one. There's a little piece of plastic. Make sure you put that in first and then slap that down. Make sure that all good goes in. The bolt behind here and the screw behind here, make sure you get those two. But yeah, it looks like everything seems to be working. Seems to unlock the doors there. That's pretty good. We're going to test the windows out here, so bear with me. Gonna turn that on. Let me make sure I turn the radio off here, because it's going to get kind of loud. Alright, so that's off. Yeah, and then actually I didn't even have a little light here on my other one, so that's good. Now I got a little light for my mirrors. Works, rolls down the window, rolls up the window. That's pretty good. Same thing for the other side. Need some new actuators there for the windows, but that's good. Looks like I can adjust the mirrors. That works out pretty good, both sides. Yeah, looks like we're all done. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. So yeah, I appreciate you watching.